everybody? I am your host, kinda, this week. I am Zech Keenan. I will be hosting this episode of the Super Gamer Boys, episode 86. And with me is the ever-lovable, I'm going to introduce you as that again, because this is our second attempt making this right, the JJ Purdom. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing fairly well. Hello, Herr Keenan. Yeah, so guten Tag to you, and there you are. I am currently in an undisclosed location, as last week I'm having a hard time with the internet getting cut off several times. So let's hope this week that doesn't happen. Zech, it's great to see you this week. Of course, we're not being joined by the guy who normally, what is he, captain the ship or whatever it is that he oh my gosh, I just did the thing that he does with the hands where it didn't make any sense. Why are my hands up? I'm just doing my things with my hands. So don't tell him about that. He doesn't watch the show ever anyway. So we're actually in a unique position where you and I, Zech, are doing the show this week without Captain Morlang, because he is currently almost about to have a baby, we think. He ran to the hospital. Of course, his wife is there as well. Yeah. She's kind of needed for this thing, his beautiful wife, Trudy. I did offer to save him $8,500 by coming and doing it myself at the apartment. Then it got kind of weird, and he actually hung up on me. I was like, whatever. Maybe you misunderstood my offer, but I was trying to save him money. I'm a conservative man. I'm always all about saving the Benjamins, You
got to be frugal,
That's my point. They got a second kid on the way. Why not try to save some money? And I could do it with some hot water and some fruit roll-ups. And of course, the fruit roll-ups are just to keep my blood sugar up while we're doing it, because it could be a long process. I'm just saying.
I heard it can go for a while.
Yeah. So one thing you did on previous podcasts that you and I had to do alone that was fantastic. I love that you right at the top of the show said, hey, here's some things we're going to talk about later. I'd love it if you could maybe just kind of hit some of those points so we let people know that later on we actually are going to do some work talking about video game news.
Yes. So this week we got a full slate coming at you. Let's get into some housekeeping items real quick, as Garrett calls it. So first up, right off the top, patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can go to support us and everything that we do. If you like the show, give us $1 a month. Give us $1 a month, and we promise to give it back in the form of giveaways and awesome, sweet merch. So, yeah, once again, that's patreon.com/supergamerboys. We will talk more about that later on and how you can support us there in different tiers, different methods. I want to give a quick shout-out to our Patreon producer, Adrian Holmes. Adrian, my homeboy, Holmes, even though I've never talked to you in person. I appreciate you, man. You're a good dude. And our other Patreon sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Dustin Long, Brett Fox, and Daniel James. And
yeah, I love every one of those guys. I just want, and Grammy, and I just want to crawl into like a giant bed with all of them and cuddle, and then eat cookies. But mostly I just want to eat cookies.
That, we will have to discuss that as being a tier.
Oh, yeah, you all get into bed with me and we can eat cookies. That's for $2 a month. You know what? That's a great tier. How about $2 a month? I come to your house and I eat cookies in your bed. Guaranteed there's going to be crumbs. And nothing's got to get weird. I'll keep my pants on. Although I'm a shirtless kind of guy. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
I've got a hairy back, Zech, and sometimes just got to let it fly.
It's all about love, man. You got to love yourself, Body, you got to love the skin you're in. And if other people can't handle it,
that's what they say.
They can't handle it.
Right? That's what they say.
Follow us on the Twitter, follow us on the YouTube, and follow us on our Discord at supergamerboys.com/discord/YouTube/store if you want to get some merch. And of course, Twitter at supergamerboys. The Discord channel, I gotta say, that was probably one of the best ideas we've ever had. We've got a pretty cool community in there. I love talking with all the.
That was my idea. I don't know if Garrett ever told you, but that was my idea. I actually came up with that.
I had the idea for Discord. Wow.
Yeah, and I created Discord. Yeah.
That's impressive.
I'd rather you not Google that. It's like we're keeping it on the DL. But yeah, no, I made that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I'll have to rub that in Garrett's face. Be like, hey,
Oh,
JJ comes up
definitely.
with really good ideas. Remember Discord?
My Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right here. This guy. Yeah.
Oh man. So, but yeah, man. So it's been a pretty busy month, pretty busy week. How have you been from this week to this week?
So every week lately seems to be incredibly busy. I'm going through some stuff with just life being really, really full, man. I don't have a whole lot of free time, unfortunately, and I'm gonna spoiler alert for a little later on in the what you playing category. I didn't play anything this week, man. Life had just got in the way big time. I definitely did. I had a really great day yesterday, hanging out with my son, and forced him to cuddle on the couch and watch Spaceballs. And honestly, he told me, Dad, the graphics are gonna suck. It's from the 80s. It's gonna be no good. He watched within the first 20, 30 minutes. I've never seen that boy laugh harder and love something so much. And I was like, see, I'm not as dumb as I look. And then he literally, when I said that, he looked right at me and said, not cool. I look like you. You know, and I'm like, I wasn't calling you dumb. Then it was like a whole conversation, you know.
That's hilarious. I've never watched Spaceballs. It's been on my list.
Oh.
I think the only that was that's a Mel Brooks, isn't it?
It's Mel Brooks, yeah.
See, I haven't watched Spaceballs, and I haven't watched Blazing Saddles. Like, the only Mel Brooks I've ever watched was freaking Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein? Yeah, that's a beautiful movie.
That's one of my
it's one of the best movies ever. Yeah, I love that movie. But all of his movies are a lot of fun. But Spaceballs is obviously a ripoff of Star Wars. It came out in '87, and it's hilarious. It's got Bill Pullman and John Candy in it. Mel Brooks, of course. Lots of cameos, lots of people in the movie. But John Candy, of course, one of my favorite actors. I have this whole, he looks like me, you know, super good looking, chiseled. Exactly. Or maybe just fat, you know. So like I resonate with fat people. I don't know why.
I prefer the term lovable. You know,
lovable is a very good way. Is that why you always refer to me as lovable? Is that like a nice way of saying fat?
No.
Okay. I saw your eye. I saw your eye twitch. That's your tell. You can never gamble because you're. No. What about you? How has this week been for you, Zech?
Okay, so I had some time to play play a little bit, which we'll get into in the what you playing. It's mostly Ghost of Tsushima, but I was able to play some other stuff too. But I do want to shout out to Umbrella Academy Season 2 on Netflix. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Anybody that the original graphic novel was written by it is a comic series. Original comics written by Jared Way, lead singer for My Chemical Romance, which is Garrett's like all-time favorite band.
Yes.
And it was.
Hey, just so you know, that's not actually his favorite. He doesn't like to tell people, but since he's not here to, beat me up or whatever, he's a huge Nickelback fan. Huge Nickelback.
He strikes me as the type, like the silent Nickelback.
Oh, he loves them.
Who doesn't love Nickelback? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can hate on them all you want. Go ahead and hate on them. They deserve all the hate. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I've been down.
Oh, yeah. No, you're singing along. You're singing along for sure.
Yeah.
But I just think he takes it to a whole new level because he's got all the posters in his bedroom wall like he's a 13-year-old girl. So that's where I draw the line. I only have one of their posters. So, I'm just saying. Only one, yeah.
Well, that's great, JJ. Way to go.
You know what? I'm wrong. It's two. I'm totally wrong. I lied right there.
Yeah. But nonetheless, Umbrella Academy. Oh my gosh, you got to check it out. Have you watched Umbrella Academy?
Yeah, I have never seen it. I have it in my queue to be able to watch. I haven't watched season 1, but I have a friend that hit me up this week and was like, watch this. So could I watch season 2 without watching season 1?
You need to watch season 1.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna, you're not gonna appreciate season 2 until you get through season 1. Seasons are short, they're like 10 episodes. 10 episodes a season.
Okay.
So super easy, super bingeable. 45 minutes to 50 minutes an episode, maybe an hour. Excellent character. Klaus has got to be one of the best written characters, probably in the last 5 years. That guy's amazing. He's like if Johnny Depp had superheroes or had superpowers, or not Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow. Sorry, they're synonymous. You know?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
I've actually been. A lot of people called me like the Johnny Depp of my town. You know, like I'm not sure if that's because of the drug habits.
No, from where you live, I can
the
see
drinking. Yeah, well, there's a lot of toothless people with a lot of meth issues in this area. So for the fact that I have all of my teeth, despite them being not organic and real, but I still have a pair in my mouth. So, I mean, technically, I'm like above board right now. You know what I mean?
So that's also.
I can't. Yeah, for the most part, I do dominate the conversation, but I can hold one.
You hold it. You know? You hold it really well. Hold it really firmly. Yeah. You know?
Thank you. Thank you. Despite having carpal tunnel in both hands, and I still able to do that.
It's impressive. And yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, enough small talk. All I gotta say is watch Spaceballs and definitely give season 2 of Umbrella Academy a shot, because I gotta get through it before the second season of The Boys comes out. Like, that's my goal right now. Like, go check them out. Which means it's time. Take it away, JJ. It's time for what? Tell me.
It's time for the nerdy news.
News. Wait, I like this. I like this.
That's right. So that's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the nerdy news.
It is time for the nerdy news, because the news is what we're going to talk about right now. First of all, this is probably the biggest piece of news we got dropped on us over the last week. That and the whole PlayStation accessories thing I saw this morning. But this is Battletoads, the classic IP from literally 26 years ago, is finally making a comeback on Xbox, Windows 10, Xbox Game Pass, and surprisingly, Steam. So it's a lot. It looks a lot different than classic Battletoads. It looks more accessible. If anybody remembers Battletoads, that game was darn near impossible. Like, I don't.
One of the hardest games of all time.
Oh my gosh! Like, it was so hard. It wasn't for me. My gaming style. It was like gamers these days. They talk about how hard Dark Souls is or how Bloodborne is. That's got nothing on Battletoads, man. Nothing on Battletoads. So, but yeah, let me go and read this quick little summary real quick. So, this is from Xbox News. So this is directly from Xbox's press release site. It's been quite a while, 26 years in fact, but at long last the Battletoads are ready to morph, leap, and smash their way back into the limelight for an all-new adventure helmed by Dlala Studios and supported by series creator Rare, a partnership first teased during the Xbox E3 2018 briefing. The Toads have kept in shape by making cameos in titles like Killer Instinct and Shovel Knight, while reliving past glories via Rare Replay. But this marks the first time since the 90s that they're returning as undisputed stars of their own game. Whether this is your first time encountering the Warty Warriors or you consider yourself a Battletoads veteran, you won't have long to wait until the trio bursts back onto the scene. We're announcing today that Battletoads will be available on August 20th for Xbox Game Pass members to download and play on Xbox One and Windows 10, and will also be available to buy on Xbox One, Windows 10, and Steam the same day. Game Pass pre-installation on console or PC will be available will be available soon. It's actually available now. I actually already have mine pre-installed on my computer. So you're ready to play on day one. Search for Battletoads on your Xbox or the Xbox app for PC beta, or download the Xbox Game Pass mobile app for Apple, blah, 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 blah. And so it just goes on to kind of describe the game and stuff like that. I watched the trailer for it. It looks like a conglomerate of a lot of different game types. Like, there's like this... It's like a classic brawler style, where you're kind of doing like a River City Ransom, beating people's up, Final Fight style. And then there's like this weird little like Galactica or is it Galactica or Galaga, where you're like the ship
Galaga, yeah.
Galaga, you know, you're just like shooting things,
Yeah.
you know. And then there had like another version where you're like in like a little go-kart, like classic Mario Kart style, going down a little
Like a Mario Kart.
rail trying to dodge stuff.
Yeah. The idea is throwing everything at it and seeing what sticks. It's like there's so many different ways to play and different aspects of gameplay that's being thrown. I think there's definitely an audience for Battletoads. Being a kid from the 90s, not having been born in the 90s, but being a kid who grew up in the 90s, Battletoads was always seen from my generation as a cheap ripoff of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But if you played the game, you ended up loving it. But when you first saw it, you're like, oh, what are these? They're like knockoff turtles. They're not. It stands out. It's an incredibly, and the Turtles games were so fun. I personally never liked the Battletoad games. They were way too hard for me. I just couldn't get very far in them. And when it's too hard, it's not fun. So hopefully this is not as hard as those games were. But I have a feeling that if they made it too easy, there'd probably be people that were pissed at that, you know? You can't serve every master.
It's true. I kind of hoping that what they end up doing is almost like a classic Battletoads mode where it is super impossible. And then they have a more casual mode for the gamers like me. They just want to enjoy a game with their kids. Because I don't know if you had a chance to look at the art style at all, but it looks a lot like Rayman. Like the new Rayman game. Like that really cartoony, cel-shaded, just fun Saturday morning cartoon style. Even
which is great
cartoon dialogue. Like it's very, very Pixar. Or not Pixar. Animaniacs. So
yeah, I think that's a great style to go with as far as like an art style. I like that a lot. I actually love Rayman. That's one of those kind of games that me and the boy will end up playing together. A great updated version of a platformer. So if there's any aspect like that and it's got the kind of color, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen the preview to it. I read a little bit of the article, but I haven't seen any footage.
Yeah, it's totally worth checking out if you guys want to go check out it's a pretty fun trailer. I mean, that's kind of all there is to it. It comes out at the end of the month. I got mine preloaded. I'll definitely be playing it just to check it out. I will say I don't really have any affinity for the IP itself, so like this being a thing, I'm kind of like cool. It honestly feels like it's a completely different game, with just like the Battletoads characters and names slapped on it. Like it could have been anything. So the studio, I'll check them out. They really haven't published a whole lot, but they have collaborated with some other bigger studios on some other bigger games.
But it is an Xbox studio, isn't it? I mean, this is directly coming from Xbox. This isn't something you're going to be able to play on the PlayStation platform.
Right. This is exclusive to Microsoft. I'd say nowadays it's safe to say that it's exclusive to Microsoft, not exclusive to Xbox, because it's coming to PC.
And PC as well, and Steam.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely not coming to Nintendo Switch, and it's not coming to PlayStation. So
don't hold your breath on it not coming to Nintendo Switch. With that art style and with some of the workings that Xbox and Switch have done together,
yeah,
I wouldn't doubt that that's not something that ends up happening.
Yeah, and the article doesn't call out that it's a timed exclusive at all. So it could definitely go either way. It could just be exclusive. It could just be timed. We don't really know. I could totally see them doing just that, though, JJ. They could totally just end up putting it on the Switch. I mean, Ori and the Blind Forest on the Switch. Minecraft, which is a Mojang studio, that's also on Xbox. That one's on the Switch. So, yeah, there's hope for it to go there, and I kind of think it should go there. I feel like this type of game would do really well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to be playing it because if it's anything like the original, it's not for me. But if it does end up on the Switch, I'm sure that it's something that I would check out for my son, because as long as it's not a really, really hard game, I really love that kind of art style. And it seems to be with just where his age is at, that's the type of game that he's into. Is stuff that is bright and that is vivid and that seems fun. But if it's really, really hard, I see him being kind of like his old man. He's probably just going to throw the towel in and say, like,
I'm done.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I put in my 2 or 3 hours. I'm good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think too. We'll see how it goes. You know, I haven't really seen any other feedback or hot takes on it, so we'll see. I'm excited for it, I guess. Or like interested for it, not excited. Put it that way. But yeah. Moving on.
Well, I'd like to see.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to see that one come to. I'm sorry, I just wanted to add real quick. I'd love to see that thing come to Switch, just so it could be one more game that Garrett doesn't finish. You know what I mean? I just because he's not here to say it. You were probably already thinking it. He's kind of like a fake gamer because he never finishes anything. I mean, he finished like 1 or 2 games.
I can't.
But he did. What's that?
I can't judge him. I do the same thing.
No, you know what's? I laugh because I'm the worst at that. I'm absolutely the worst at that, and he gets so bitter and upset with me calling him a fake gamer, and like I think he knows I'm the worst at that. That I love starting stuff and never finish. You know.
Hey,
I rage quit God of War and never went back.
Oh,
you know, and I love God of War.
Oh man.
I got stuck in one spot, and like I'm saying it online. I'm telling you guys on the show. I admit it. It. What's that?
Did you drop the difficulty?
Well, I think I had it on low. I don't really know. So I didn't go and play it for a very long time. I loaned it to my nephew, and then I got it back, and I was excited. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get back into God of War. The game is so amazing and beautiful and fun, and I got into a position where I'm having to throw the axe. I'm with the boy. We're setting the light prisms into like little docks or whatever, and then throwing the axe at these growths. And they disappear and open up the path, but you have to like hit 3 of them all in a row kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I could not get in the right position to hit all 3. And I spent forever. And when I say forever, it was me coming back to the game days later and hitting it again and going, man, I just gave up a half hour trying to, and I looked online and I tried to cheat and stand in the right position and I just couldn't do it. I don't know why. So, and you know what? My 9-year-old would probably get in there, do it, and have it done in 3 seconds, and then I'd probably want to kill myself. Like it's kind of how that works.
Well, that's fine. You know, I live by a philosophy. Okay, when it comes to games, particularly, if you're not having fun with the game, stop playing it. It's a game.
Yeah.
Like move on.
Right. Yeah.
Like don't waste your time on something that's literally a waste of time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Hopefully Battletoads won't be too much of a waste. So we'll see. That studio they've collaborated with Rare on a few other bigger projects. They collaborated with them on Sea of Thieves and The Escapists. They haven't really published anything noteworthy themselves. So this will be their first bigger main title that they're going out with. So we'll see if it does well for them. Then hey, props to the studio. Hope they best of luck. So I really hope it's successful, and we'll see more from them depending on how well it goes. So, also coming at you, also from Microsoft, we got Halo Infinite multiplayer has been announced to be free to play at launch. So it's going to be running at 4K at 120 FPS. This is from The Verge, written by Tom Warren. Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode will be free to play and support up to 120 FPS. Microsoft has announced. The news comes after a leak from the Smith's Toys Superstore, which briefly posted details, Google Cache, about Halo Infinite multiplayer on a promotional page this week, before quickly removing them once the internet discovered the references. The legendary Halo series returns with the most expansive Master Chief campaign yet and a groundbreaking free-to-play multiplayer experience. Read the listing. Enjoy up to 120 FPS and greatly reduced load times, creating seamless gameplay with the Xbox Series X. Klobrille, Xbox leaker who accurately revealed previous Halo Infinite details. Backed up the claims that the multiplayer mode will be free to play. The leaker also claims the arena mode will aim at 120 FPS, blah, blah, blah. Basically all the stuff we already know. And that's pretty much it. So, like, I don't know if this. JJ, are you surprised?
No, I wouldn't say surprised. I'm ecstatic. I think that Xbox is genius. This was the smartest thing they could have possibly done. That multiplayer mode is so popular. That's what everybody goes for, and it's just brilliant. So, look, they have a game that is their big marquee title that's coming out, Halo Infinite. This is the one that they've been pushing for years. This is the series that everybody loves so much. And they're saying, hey, the multiplayer that we can make a whole lot of money on, we're just going to give that to everybody for free. That's brilliant at launch. Like, I cannot tell you, like, as soon as I heard that, I thought, like, man, everything we said about Xbox last week totally stands true. Like, they are going in a totally different direction from how PlayStation is. And again, this isn't me saying, like, yay, Xbox, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon. No. But it's just me going, like, hey, honestly, bravo. Yeah. Bravo, because they're going a different direction. And something like that is absolutely smart. And, I mean, that's really genius of them to give away something like that right out the gate to get people's foot in the door.
Yeah, you got to give props where props are due. I think that this is... the article also goes on to mention that there's possibly a battle pass going to be associated with it. And if there is, then that will be equally as interesting, because that will give them a chance to kind of, have, like, microtransactions and things like that. So
yeah, they'll make some money. That's the whole point. Which is fine,
It's definitely fine. I mean, I got I take no umbrage with that. But I think my thing is that, like, what kind of multiplayer is this going to be? Is this going to be all the multiplayer? Because, like, Halo is mostly known for its Slayer mode. Slayer, CTF, King of the Hill. Like, those are kind of like your key staples in Halo multiplayer. If they're going to try to turn this into another Battle Royale mode, I am going to
Fortnite?
Like,
don't think Fortnite. Yeah,
this isn't like everything. I feel like every multiplayer game that comes out nowadays has to have a BR mode. Call of Duty is probably the last one to come out with a successful BR after Fortnite. You've had a few. You had Apex Legends, which I feel like had its time. He definitely doesn't get as much. It's not nearly as popular as Warzone or Fortnite is, but it's definitely one to be, talked about in the mix. But I don't see Halo becoming the next BR. I don't see that. So I really hope that's not what their plan is.
Interesting that you said that about Apex. Apex, from my vantage point, Apex Legends kind of goes through like kind of a roller coaster of popularity, where it kind of peaks and valleys, where it goes up for a little while and it seems like everybody's really into it. And I don't know if that's when new content is coming out or new seasons. I can't say off the top of my head if it's when the seasons come out, it seems to get all popular all of a sudden. It's seemingly going through a resurgence with kids my son's age starting to kind of want to play that. Like, a lot of his buddies are all like into that right now all of a sudden. I don't know, maybe they just found it. And then it's the hot new thing that they can play. But it seems to kind of go up and down. Whereas Fortnite having a kid who plays Fortnite and who sees other children his age playing it, Fortnite seems to finally be waning in popularity right now. And I don't know why that is, but a lot of kids that have loved Fortnite for the longest time are starting to fall out of love with Fortnite and are starting to lean into playing things like Minecraft again, which, hey, I'm all for. No microtransactions. It's exactly. I love it. I love it for that reason, because it seems like there's productivity going on and there's thought. It's not just mindless running around and building walls and killing and stuff like that. So, I hope there's no battle royale aspect to Halo Infinite, but kudos to Microsoft for doing that, because honestly, it's going to get a lot of people's eyes on it, and they'll probably end up selling a good amount of games based on it too.
Yeah.
And what was it? You said, what was the FPS? Was it 60 FPS?
120.
120.
Which, so you remember John Shabika? We had him on the podcast like a few months ago.
Yeah, I remember John.
I was talking to him the other day, and we were talking about Halo because obviously, as anyone could have surmised from that episode, him and I are major Xbox fans and major Halo fans at that, right? So one thing that stuck out to both of us was the fact that, like, why is Xbox spending so much graphical power on making it 120 FPS when the eye can't even really pick up anything past 60? So from a technical gaming, like FPS multiplayer, I just lost my train of thought. Science. We'll leave it at that. Okay, I'll make myself sound a little smarter than I actually am. The science. If you miss a frame, like basically the more frames that are in FPS is more probability that you're going to hit your target when you hit him, because he's not going to be out of frame when you go to shoot. There's that split secondness that counts, and so the more frames you have added into that second, the more chance that there is of you actually hitting that target. So that's the only reason I can see it. But at the end of the day, if you're playing it on PC, that's one thing, but if you're playing it on console, that's another. Like, there's no thumbs in the world that can keep up with anything past 60 FPS. So I would personally, I'd much rather have them spend that graphical power and it's making the game look better than dumping it into like more frames. Like, I don't understand that. Like, just put more on the screen, detail it out more, make it better. Don't spend the extra.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more, because that's actually one of the things that we were talking about either last week or the week before, was that Halo Infinite didn't look amazing. And maybe, and that's one of the things that I surmised was maybe going too high on the FPS is a reason why it didn't look so great. And I guess that having just come off of the PlayStation 4 and games like Ghost and Last of Us 2 that look so visually stunning and realistic, or as realistic as you can get, that's why Halo was such a disappointment. But I know that like a lot of Microsoft Xbox fans swear by that. Well, yeah, but the FPS. But it's like, okay, but are you putting all of your money into getting these great frames per second versus what it actually looks like? And for me, I'd much rather have a game that's visually stunning, and that seeing vistas that our eyes are never going to see, seeing worlds and planets and universes that you can only imagine, like things like that look so amazing. But hey, you know what? But we're got 120 frames per second. It's like, okay, what does that do for my gameplay? Not a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think to play devil's advocate too is, I think that could just be one of the differentiators between Xbox and PlayStation, is that PlayStation does try to wow you with these very detailed, graphically and story-wise, games, where Xbox is trying to focus more on this multiplayer community, games for everybody type shtick, and that could be why we're seeing this. Them spend that extra power there on the multiplayer or not, or on the world, but hey, I don't run a multi-million-dollar corporation selling video games. I sit here and I talk about it. So what do I know?
Right.
But
so I'm curious. I know we've already kind of like discussed some of the things of this stuff with the new generation coming out, the PS5 and the X series, or the Series X. I know you're an Xbox guy. I know you're a big Microsoft fan, but I know you also have a PS4 Pro.
PS4.
Why? You just have a PS4. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at on this new generation? I mean, are you after the showcases with the games that have been offered up? Are you like, no, I'm still going full on Xbox Series X, Or are you like, no, I'm leaning towards the PS5? It's not something that we've talked about even off air. We haven't had that discussion, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I'm after watching both showcases, I guess it's going to be interesting to see what the actual final price is going to look like. So they announced
They're both $500. They're both $500. So price isn't the issue. They're both $500
so
out there.
if they're both $500, yeah, I don't know. I might end up leaning more towards the Xbox just because that's kind of where most of my games are anyway. I really like what they're doing with Game Pass. I like how accessible everything is. I really feel that the value proposition for Game Pass is just a deal it's an offer you can't refuse. I mean, what, $15 a month and you get games on any device, including with the streaming bundled in now. So, but more than that, it comes back to Halo for me. And my wife and I have played through every single Halo game together co-op, with the exception of 5 because it doesn't have couch co-op. So with Halo Infinite going couch co-op, it's such a big major draw for someone like me because that's literally our first dates were playing Halo, you know. So there's that. On the flip side, there are a lot of games on PlayStation that I really, really want. Like Ratchet and Clank, which I'll talk more about that later. Horizon Zero Dawn, that's my wife's favorite game of all time. I'm pretty sure she likes it more than Zelda, I think, at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, she loves, and she's a big time Zelda fan. So that's saying a lot. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous to think. So if Halo Infinite really ends up sucking, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot because I could have just gotten a PlayStation and gotten games that I also really wanted. So, but I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't feel there's any real major drawbacks to either console this generation. It's very interesting. I kind of feel like the console wars are kind of over at this point, and you have 3 different companies doing 3 different things in the
totally
same
different
space.
thing.
Yeah. So.
And I will tell you that interesting. Most true gamers are playing on a couple of consoles. They usually either have an Xbox and a Switch, or they have a Switch and a PlayStation. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like that's the way everything's going. Everybody wants to have that thing on the go that the Switch provides, that you can also play on the big screen at home, and then have a dedicated console, whether it's Xbox or a PlayStation. I think that's going to continue. That's not going to change. Now, with this next generation, I've just started the whole having an Xbox and having Game Pass, and I'll tell you what, I'm definitely a Sony pony because of the types of games that PlayStation puts out.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me, albeit a small part, that's saying, man, I really do love the value that Xbox is giving. Now, is that me saying I'm willing to play different types of games and go with the Xbox? Probably not, because I'm a PlayStation guy. I like those types of games that PlayStation puts out, those AAA, main party titles like the Last of Us and the Red Deads. And I know that Red Dead was on Xbox as well, but I mean, it's just those types of games are the games. I want those big, epic, beautiful games. And I just don't see Xbox providing that right now. Now, maybe that's something that'll come with all the studios they're snatching up. But I just don't see a lot of those types of games.
And, you very well could be right on that last point there. When you go back and you watch that showcase, I don't think right now, like right at launch, you're going to get those big titles, same as with PlayStation. But if you look at games like Avowed, right, that's going to be like the OG Skyrim. Like basically, but Obsidian out, but I've heard it said, Obsidian out Bethesda's Bethesda. You know what I'm saying? Like they make the good... They're going to make Skyrim as great as it is. They're going to blow it out of the water with Avowed because they're the ones that actually truly know how to do it right. You also got Fable being made, which is going to be a little bit different. And then you still kind of have your more dramatic games, like The Medium, which is a sci-fi horror. But interesting to note, one thing about Red Dead is that you like Red Dead because it's big and it's beautiful and it's got a good story. Red Dead's gonna look better on an Xbox because the hardware is better. So like those big time third-party games, those big third-party games that look just as good as any Sony first-party games are going to be better on the Xbox. And to further that, you kind of don't even need an Xbox to play them. You just need Game Pass. So, like, you just need Game Pass and a phone, and you can play it right there.
Well, and I have yet to play Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox, but I know that's actually offered up on Game Pass, and I'm actually planning on downloading it when I get back to the house tonight, because I was hoping to start on the online. I've got a friend who has an Xbox, has been waiting for me to get the Xbox, and he's like, hey, they got that DLC on the online, but you have to get a couple of hours into it and stuff like that. So I'll be downloading that, and hopefully that's something I can talk about this next week, is going back to the old Red Dead and going to try the online multiplayer.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if you can do that, I really hope you can do that for the show, because I really want to hear your thoughts on that, because I haven't tried it yet. I've been playing other big open world games. gotta get caught up. But yeah, so that's Xbox. That's Halo Infinite. Comes out later this year. So look for it at launch with the Xbox, hopefully, unless they have some sort of crazy announcement that that Halo Infinite game's not actually going to launch with the Xbox Series X. Sorry.
I keep looking down at my phone, expecting to have a big announcement that Garrett and Trudy have had a baby, or that they need me to like leave here and go help. So I keep waiting on the, hey JJ, we need your expertise.
JJ, we need you.
We need you. And nobody's ever said that phrase before, so I want to hear it one time in my life.
Well, JJ,
you know what I mean? Just one time.
I need you right now to finish this episode.
Right. Heck yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. I'm gonna go to our last news piece here. It's about it's from Game Rant. Marvel's Avengers, which is a game we all know comes out in a few weeks, officially adds Spider-Man as a PlayStation exclusive. This is written by Denny Connolly. Rumors and leaks surrounding the appearance of Spider-Man and Crystal Dynamics' upcoming Marvel Avengers have been all over the place over the last few days. An early leak suggested Spider-Man would be a PS4 exclusive for the multiplayer action game, but the intel seemed to be debunked shortly after word started to spread. Now, just a day later, an official blog post from the developer arrives. I lost my train of thought. To confirm that Spider-Man is coming to the game as a PS4 exclusive. After all, the title is still planning to launch with a core group of 6 playable Avengers characters, and last week's War Table revealed that Hawkeye will be the first post-launch hero to be added to the game. Today's update brings confirmation of the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to the lineup as well, and reveal that Peter Parker's alter ego will arrive as a PlayStation exclusive in 2021. This will be a Crystal Dynamics' own take on the iconic web slinger, and his arrival in Marvel's Avengers will coincide with an event full of challenges that will likely help the player get acquainted with the character's primary abilities and skills. The article goes on to say that this Spider-Man will not be... So basically that means that this Spider-Man will not be the Insomniac Spider-Man. Like if you've played that one.
And that's exactly where I was going to go with it right now, was I wonder if it's going to be anything like Insomniac.
It's not. They go on to say this new Spider-Man has a lot to work to do in order to live up to the web slinging that takes place in Insomniac Spider-Man. Although there are a few minor team-up moments in Spidey's solo PS4 adventure, the real room for a different take on Spider-Man this time around comes from seeing how the character will interact with players and their abilities. So yeah, that's pretty exciting news. The article or the announcement doesn't say again that if it's going to be a timed exclusive or not. But for right now, it is exclusive to PlayStation. So this will not be in the Xbox version. I guess if I pick this game up, I'm going to have to pick it up on PlayStation because I really want that Spider-Man in there. Although I don't have PS Plus, so I can't play multiplayer anyway. So, like, yeah, I let it expire because I'm like, I only ever play single player games on here. So, so I don't know, JJ. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I had heard this, and I didn't read the article, but I heard that this was going to happen, and I had a picture in my head that it was Insomniac Spider-Man in the game, and I'll tell you what, like, I got really excited. I love Spider-Man from Insomniac. Really looking forward to Miles Morales. I think that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched it, but Into the Spider-Verse has been on in my house so many times. I took my son to go watch it, had a blast watching it in the theater, and he loves it, dude. Like, he's watched that movie so many times.
It's the best.
5-6 times easy.
It's the best.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And you know what? It actually made him want to come home and play the Spider-Man game. And I love the Spider-Man game. I did say one thing about the Spider-Man game that seemingly really upset Garrett, and I'll bring it up again just because I love bringing up stuff that upsets Garrett. But I said that, you know what Spider-Man is like? This game is almost like a reskin, an updated reskin of the Batman Arkham Knight games. And he got so mad, and I'm like, no, it's like almost the exact same fighting style and everything else. It's like, every aspect of it is the same. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure like it's pretty much the exact same game. And then he got really pissed because he loves Spider-Man. And I'm like, look, I love Spider-Man. I'm not saying that it wasn't a great game. I'm saying you could draw parallels with the gameplay. And he's like, well, that's just superhero games. Okay.
No.
All right, Garrett, we'll agree to disagree.
No,
I love you. I love those games. I love the games, the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum and all that. But I'm just like, nope. After playing those games a couple of months before playing Spider-Man, almost identical with the fight style and everything else. It's like, I'm surprised it's not made by the same people.
Yeah. No, I think you're 100% right. I think the only thing that Spider-Man does different than Batman would be stealth. Like, stealth in that game is like nearly non-existent. You don't really need a lot of stealth. For Batman, you always have those missions where it's like, oh yeah, you got stealth in this one and you don't got stealth in this mission.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, come on now, dude. It's like the exact same game.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And again, that's not bad-mouthing the Batman games either, because I love those games. Those games are phenomenal, a lot of fun. They're just a past generation, and they feel bulky in comparison. Absolutely.
Exactly. Like that's a praise to the Spider-Man game because you're like, oh, you know that game that was really good? Spider-Man's like that game that was really good.
Well, yeah. So as far as like the Avengers game, I'm looking forward to it, man. And I've still got the PS Plus, so I look forward to being able to play it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, actually. And I was kind of worried, like, anytime that they take an IP like that, it's like, it's probably just going to get slapped on and kind of be garbage. But I think this should be good. But it does have big shoes to fill with the Spider-Man character being added to the lineup, the Avengers and stuff like that, just because of how well Spider-Man has been loved on for the Insomniac game. So.
Gosh, yeah.
But we shall see.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. I really hope it does well. I don't think it's going to be interesting. All the marketing around this game. I have my reservations about whether or not it's actually going to be a good game. I've seen some of the gameplay, and I like some of the concepts they're trying to do. It's just going to be interesting to see how it all kind of plays out together for a solid, straight campaign. You know what I mean? So, because I feel like you already kind of have a game like that. You have Marvel Ultimate Alliance that already does it really well. So this one feels more like a photorealistic, like it's trying to be the movies, but it's not trying to be the movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited for it. It'll be cool. I've said that about everything we've talked about. Yeah, I'm excited, and it'll be cool.
You're an excitable guy, brother. You think everything's cool. That's because you You are cool, my friend.
Well, thank you, JJ. I appreciate that, my friend.
Yeah. I mean you.
So yeah, that is all the news we have this week. We'll talk about more of that stuff next week. Right now, let's go ahead and get into our Patreon ad. I'm going to plug our Patreon here for a second. If you want to help us out and you really enjoy the content we make on a weekly basis and you want to get access to it early, then all you gotta do is subscribe for $1 a month. That's right, $1. Not a deer, not an actual literal buck, but a figurative buck a month. And with that, you get a virtual high five. See? Psyched you out. You thought you were going to get one, but you gotta pay us $1 a month first. Early access to the ad-free audio version, and Super Gamer Fans Discord title to show off your support on your Discord server. For $5 a month, you can be an honorary Super Gamer Boy. You get all the previous benefits of being a Super Gamer fan. Access to our run of show notes before the episode records, so you can kind of drop us in comments, tell us how you feel about certain topics, suggest questions. Your name would be in the episode descriptions, and the Honorary Super Gamer Fans Discord title to show off your support in the Discord server as well, so you get a level up on that. You actually would get a cooler one than the Super Gamer Fan one, different color. It's really cool. And then obviously there's Super Gamer sponsor, like our boy Adrian Holmes is a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to shout out on the show, Discord title, show off your support, and you can be a producer as well, which is at our $15 a month tier, which lets you actually recommend segments. I mean, if you want me to wear a clown outfit or talk about my affinity for The Conjuring and all the movies in that universe, I would gladly do that for you. Okay, if you want me to talk about my methods on how to change my baby's diapers or JJ's diapers, I can do that.
Yes, and that he just calls the wife and says, come in here and change JJ's diapers. That's how he does it. But you know what? I don't know if we've talked about it lately. Don't forget the new $2 tier. It's what we call the cookie tier. So if you want me to come to your house and eat cookies in your bed, I'm leaving crumbs. Also, by the way, you have to provide the cookies. For $2 a month, I'm doing that. And you might want to tell the spouse that, because it could totally get weird. Just saying.
Weird real quick. We're a little apprehensive about showing this one off. But hey, if you're into that sort of thing, drop us $2 a month. JJ will show up, eat cookies in your bed. And life will be just peachy king in your household. I'm sure of it. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong?
I can't think of a single thing. Anyway, let's get back to the show. So, this week, new releases. We got Yakuza Kiwami 2 dropped on the Xbox One. Came out on July 30th. Part of the Yakuza franchise. It's a franchise that is just like so over the top. I don't know, JJ, if you've seen any of the Yakuza games.
I've played the Yakuza 5, I think. Okay. It might have been Yakuza 6. It was one of those free titles on PS Plus maybe a year ago, and I did not like it. I don't understand it. It's very Japanese, and so you go into like different shops and you beat the heck out of people, and you're like basically like beating them up. They're like covering and you're kicking them and hitting them. It's like for the Yakuza, which is the Japanese mafia, and it's very much like a Japanese GTA, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, and I just kind of rage quit it like God of War. I didn't play that much. No, but I didn't find a whole lot of fun in the game. So Yakuza games not for me.
Yeah, interesting you say that. I keep looking at it like I might have fun with this. I don't know, but hey, if Yakuza is your thing, it just came out on Xbox One this week, or the second one did. I think it's a port or something. And then another one came out was Fall Guys Ultimate Knockback, PlayStation 4 and PC, August 4th. I know absolutely nothing about that. I think Adrian Holmes tweeted about it. I think it came to PlayStation Plus recently. Maybe?
Yes.
It did. Okay. So, yeah, the Fall Guys. Check it out. Could be cool, could be not. let us know your thoughts. If you have any thoughts on it, drop us your comments in the Discord. We'll be sure to discuss it here on the show. We'll do like a mailbag. That's what I want to do. I'll do like a mailbag type thing on here.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be so fun. I just want to just go through question after question, answer it all on there. So let me know. And yeah.
Dude, you got to come up with like a cool mailbag song that you sing, because honestly, Zech, I'm just catching it right now. You kind of look like Steve from Blue's Clues. I'm just saying, dude. You got like a weird, freaky Blue's Clues thing going on.
I've been.
And it never fails its type on well. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, if it's if we're gonna do a Super Gamer mailbag, then
you're gonna shave the beard, and you gotta do Steve.
I gotta do what's the mailbox song in that? Oh, it's mail time. Yeah. That's what it'll be. You think we'll get sued by Nickelodeon for that? I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't
find out on the next episode of Super Gamer Boys. But
we'll read the legal letter on the air.
Yeah, it'd be fun. So, but yeah, shoot us, drop us some questions or comments. I'll read anything you guys drop in there, and we'll talk about it. Because I got a feeling Garrett's gonna be out for at least another week. Since he's physically giving birth to a baby right now. It's crazy. It's like what's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Junior. The movie Junior.
It's like that.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to JJ or Garrett right now. Not JJ.
Yeah. I feel pregnant right now. I don't know, just saying. Not related. Not related
at all. So, oh yeah. So all right, let's move on. What you playing? JJ, you said you haven't had a chance to play anything.
I haven't had a chance to play anything. I've watched a couple of things this week. A couple of things that I got a chance to watch. Obviously, I watched Spaceballs that I hadn't watched in years and years. And then I also watched a really interesting show that a friend of mine, a very good friend, was telling me, Love on the Spectrum. And it's a TV show based on people who have autism that are looking for love and how they communicate and interact with each other. And there's like 5 or 6 episodes on the first season, which is on Netflix right now. It's a Netflix exclusive. Mm-hmm. And I went into it with an open mind, and man, I got to tell you, it's a beautiful show. It's a documentary following around these people, and some of them have a really hard time interacting and socializing with others, and how they attempt to try to socialize with the opposite sex or with, potential suitors. And it's painful to watch. It's very painful to watch, but it's intriguing where you can't turn away. It's like a car accident. I have family members who have autism, and I see some traits in some of the things that I saw on screen. But these are people with some severe autism, some that you're like, I don't see them being different. I don't get it. You're like, they seem so normal, but they're on the spectrum. And it's really, really interesting. It's a cool little documentary. It's like I said, it's only 5 or 6 episodes, and each one are pretty bingeable, 45 minutes or so, maybe 50 minutes. It's worth giving it a look. Sure. If you like to watch cool stuff that pulls on the old heartstring. Okay,
yeah, I was seeing that kind of tickle my Twitter feed earlier today, so I was kind of wondering what that was. It sounds what I kind of thought it would be. It would be like a reality show based around autistic people trying to get love, which is awesome. That'd be really cool. Yeah. So that's interesting. I'll check that one out once I'm done with Umbrella Academy and The Boys that comes out later this month. JJ, have you watched The Boys yet? Have you had a chance to watch it?
I have not watched The Boys at all. I've never seen any of it. But is it really something I need to go check out, huh? Okay, so Umbrella Academy or The Boys, which one should I go watch?
Do you have access to Amazon Prime?
Yes. So that tells me you're going to say go watch The Boys, right?
The Boys is seriously some of the best television I've watched in eons.
Oh, wow. So, okay.
It is definitely rated M.
Okay.
R. Do not watch it for your kids. There's some pretty grotesque moments that go down in that show. But
okay. So I will go watch it because I've heard about it. I don't know anything about it, but I know it's supposed to be about superheroes. If there was one show that I would say was the best writing that I've seen in a while, there's 3 seasons. It just got canceled. Ozark, and actually, it's very much like a Breaking Bad. It's one of the greatest TV shows I've ever seen. It's got Jason Bateman. It got canceled. They did 3 seasons of it. They might have filmed the 4th season, but it's Netflix, the curse of the 3 seasons, where they basically don't want to pay the fees that cost and are encumbered by a 4th season of a show. So they end up canceling shows when they're really, really highly rated, when they don't have quite enough people watching, but they have just enough to where it's like they can go out on top, and then we don't have to pay the fees or whatever. And Netflix keeps the views of their shows pretty close to the vest. So there's really no telling, but I got to tell you, if you liked Breaking Bad, which I loved Breaking Bad, I binge watched through that whole series twice, and I just couldn't believe that. That to me has been the greatest TV show I've ever seen. Ozark is very close to being the 2nd greatest TV show that I've ever seen. It's just incredible, and it's of the same line with the drugs, the cartel, with an anti-hero. And when I say the anti-hero, what I mean by that is somebody who is who's trying to keep his family safe. He's hiding out in the Ozarks and laundering money. He's a brilliant money launderer, and he's laundering money for a Mexican drug cartel. And then they're encumbering on the areas of the people who are in the Ozarks that sell heroin and poppies and like so those, and then also the Kansas City mob gets in and wants a piece of the action and what they're doing, and it's just incredible, the character developments on that show and the things that happen are just
well, Jason Bateman's also really good. We ended up finishing The Outsider, amazing. Which has him in that. Have you watched that on HBO?
No.
So we finally finished The Outsider, which I know it's kind of like, I don't know, 6 months or whatever. It's 8 months now, too late. Stephen King, very creepy, very good. Especially Ben Mendelsohn's character in that show, just absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, along the same lines of just like Jason Bateman being like a total baller of an actor, dude.
He's the best. He just absolutely went from being a child actor in Teen Wolf 2 and stuff like that to just honestly being one of the best actors there is right now working today. Hey, I'll have to check that out.
Dan Jam Gent just dropped us a line on the chat. What's up, my man? How are you? Yeah, we're doing a live one. It's not going to be here permanently. We're only doing this just as a means to record. And then we'll probably end up going back to non-live shows. But this is kind of how we're going to have to divvy out the podcast until...
Beautiful. I love it because Dan is actually, I don't know if you've heard, but he apparently talks like a really bad version of Jason Statham. Like a cheap,
really
Jason
good version of Jason Statham.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could, depending on how your viewpoint is, it could be very, very good, yes.
It sounds like an intelligent Jason Statham to me. So,
and
there you go.
His better half has a hell of a voice, by the way. If you've never seen his Twitter, I'm telling you, like shockingly beautiful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check out his Twitter feed and see what's up.
She might be blind. I'm not really sure if she's ever seen Dan before or not. She might. I didn't see a white cane and like with a red tip or anything. I don't know. Maybe they don't do that in Wales. I'm not really sure. But maybe they're not allowed to have white canes. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Oh man.
But no, we appreciate the support, Dan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so anyway, let's get back into it. What I've been playing is I got a couple games to touch on real quick. Dan says, all good here, just doing the last hour of my night shift. Yes, I do indeed sound like a bad Jason Statham. Don't be so hard on yourself, Dan. I think so. Come on. Have some confidence.
Now I want to hear him, so I want him on the show. That way we can, in fact, tell him that we'd like to have him on a special episode if we could figure out the whole time change thing, which we're not really good at math. But Garrett and I was talking about having Adrian and Dan on an episode where we did a special extra episode based on Last of Us 2. Just on people who have played and beaten Last of Us 2.
That'd be awesome. Dan says, well, the mating ritual over here in Wales is blindfold matchmaking.
Okay, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I love it. I love it.
That didn't make its way to America yet.
No.
If things keep going the way they are, it might just have to.
Me personally, I just go with tranquilizer darts. Tranquilizer darts help so much. Like,
boom, done.
Yeah, done.
The one you tag with the dart, that's the one that you get married to.
and they get really weird if you start tagging multiple. Like it's like a whole thing. But whatever.
I got trigger happy. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna derail for a second. I want all the gentlemen out there to take a second and think about this, okay? I know y'all want to be like, oh, it'd be crazy to have like multiple wives because you have multiple partners, blah, blah, blah. Any man that's ever had one wife knows that having more than one is a bad idea.
Be careful. Zach, be careful. You might get in trouble, buddy. Careful.
I'm fortunate enough to have like an amazing wife. My wife is absolutely awesome. If I'm not gonna say I wish I had two of her because I don't, just because I love the one so much. But to the average guy out there, just do yourself a favor and think that one through a little bit better, okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. Dan says we're the future over here. Yes, you are, Dan. In more ways than one.
Yes.
So, but yeah, let's go ahead and progress here a little bit. I've been playing this game called Blasphemous on Steam, and it's a side-scrolling Castlevania, Metroidvania type game where you play as this knight called the Penitent, and you're trying to rid the world of some crazy weird religion or sin. I can't put my finger on it. I just know that this game is just wildly weird. Like it's basically Castlevania if Castlevania didn't have any hope in it. Like it is a dark game. It is dark and it is violent, which is saying a lot because it's actually in this pixel art. Like it's just pixels, and it is just the sound design in it is really good, and it is grotesque. And I don't know why I keep playing it, just because it is so gross. I think I'm just so intrigued by what I'm watching that I gotta figure out what is. It's like watching a Tim Burton film. You're like, this is so weird. I gotta figure out why this is so weird. And you keep going through the whole movie, and you're like, no, it's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of there, but it's weird.
How much did you pick it up for? Was it on a good sale?
So I got it on Steam as a part of a Humble Bundle deal. So, which anybody doesn't know what Humble Bundle is, it's like $12 a month, and you get to play. They give you like 10 to 12 games a month for free, or not for free, but for $12 a month. And a lot of them, they usually have some pretty big AAA titles. Like I know Shadow of Tomb Raider was a game in there. The BioShock collection was a game. They usually have one big major title with a bunch of tiny little titles, or like 2 or 3 fairly popular tiny titles and a bunch of other tinier titles. So you get a pretty good bang for your buck on a monthly basis. Like hands down, you can always guarantee you're gonna make a pretty good deal. But so I picked it up through that, and then I was like, I saw that it was on sale on the Nintendo eShop, and so I picked it up on there for like $7. And yeah, I don't know. I think I haven't decided which platform I'm playing it on more. It's both good, but anyway, I can't recommend it or not. If you're into that sort of thing, go check out the trailer and maybe you'll enjoy it. But if you like Metroidvania, you'll like this game. It does a lot of the Metroidvania stuff really well, with like the exploration and the upgrades and this and the usual tropes, boss fights, things like that. So interesting story, really weird, just weird. But
yeah.
Also, real quickly, I wanted to touch on Ratchet and Clank for PlayStation 4. I finally beat it with my kids. It was awesome. It's like playing a Pixar movie. In fact, my mom came over for a couple of seconds while I was playing with the kids. She's like, "What movie is this?" I was like, "Oh, this is a game."
Oh, wow!
I go, "This is actually a game." She's like, "This is a game?" this is like a movie. I'm like, right?
Did you pick up a digital copy of Ratchet and Clank? Or
I did. Yeah, it came. No, I don't actually I have a physical disc. I have a physical disc version of that, and so I don't know if you ever.
Because I was looking to borrow it if you got it, because I've been wanting the boy to play it and myself too. But yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, you can totally borrow it. It's all yours.
I'm so good at borrowing games, by the way. I'm like so good at like giving games back, and like that's.
I would only loan it to you, knowing that I beat it. If it was a game that I haven't beaten, I
Oh no! No, there would be no faith there.
That's just how I am with all my games.
I love it.
But anyway, Dan's ears must have been burning because he actually gave us the question of the show, and it says Jim, my better half, is asking about the three of you. Asking, could the three of you please reenact the Honeybee Inn dance from Final Fantasy VII Remake, please? Dan, the answer to that question is sure if you were a Patreon producer. Which you're not. So no, we're not doing that. But on a more serious note, he goes on, he wants to know if we could list our favorite characters of the original Street Fighter. Did I lose you, JJ? Are you gone? JJ's gone.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
There you are, JJ. So he wants us to list our favorite characters from the original Street Fighter. Our favorite character from the original Street Fighter.
Blanca. I loved Blanca because I resonated with that character when I was a kid because I always felt like I was short and stocky. And so that was the character that I saw myself in if I were a bad butt. You know, if I were cool and whatnot, I would feel like I turn into a Blanca. You know, that's always who I saw myself as. So I would say that's probably my favorite of the Street Fighter guys.
Yeah, I'm
nothing like Blanca, by the way. I'm really nothing like him at all.
You don't turn green and go electric?
I do not do that. I've never done that yet.
That's cool. Now, Blanca was always a good classic. I always enjoyed playing as Blanca. I think my favorite, like if we're going off of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or Ultra Turbo, the one with like all the characters in it, my favorite character would probably have to be Fei Long.
Okay.
Just because I really loved how Bruce Lee he was, like just like super fast, his fists would turn into fire.
So I'm so bad, I actually thought you were talking about the female character for a second. I couldn't remember.
Chun-Li?
Chun-Li, yes. I thought you were saying Chun-Li, basically. So I was like, okay, so you're one of those. Okay, all right.
Hey, she's not a bad character either, but my favorite would probably be Fei Long. I also really had an affinity for Sagat, just because I loved how huge and hulking and scary he was. Like everything that I am not. You know?
What? Doubt that.
But yeah, I'd have to say Fei Long.
Right on.
Yeah.
We didn't go for the easy answers. The easy answers would have been, the main characters and stuff. Yeah. We didn't do that.
Ryu.
Because
everybody loves Ryu.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's actually what Garrett was going to say. In fact, let's just say that's what Garrett said.
No, he would have been a little more white bread. He would have said Ken.
He would have said Ken. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But yeah.
No, Guile, I can see that for sure. I was a big fan of Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis. So I played it. I think that was Turbo. I know the Genesis and the SNES had different versions of basically the same game, but I played it on the Genesis because that's what I had.
Yeah. See, I played it on Super. Dan says, haha, awesome. Chun-Li is Jim's favorite character. Well, there you go.
Nice.
Now,
nice.
Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
Mortal Kombat. You know what? I don't know any of the characters off the top of my head. I didn't get to play that very much. I played a little bit in the very beginning, but I never was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat.
Oh, have you played any of the new ones?
No, like 11 that just came out and stuff like that. No, I didn't. I'm not a big fan of the fighters, of the fighter games. Like, that's something that was very popular when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But not now.
You might like these because they have very good stories. Like Injustice and Mortal Kombat have these very well woven, very cinematic stories.
Mm-hmm.
You might consider it. I don't know. Check it out.
I did think Injustice looked really good. Injustice looked really good. Was it? See, I haven't tried it. But
Evil. Dude, nothing scarier than
I kind of do, because I love Superman, and I know you're a big fan of the guy I call the Caped Crusader. I don't know what you call him, but I call him the Caped Crusader. Of course, Garrett doesn't know that. You call him that. The Dark Knight, some people call him. Batman to others. Yeah. I just feel like in Superman versus Batman, it's not Batman versus Superman. It's Superman versus Batman. The Superman should have technically just beat the crap out of Batman.
You can't.
This is my personal.
You can't beat the crap out of Batman. He's way too smart.
Yeah, but Superman's Superman, and you just can't beat him. And that's the whole thing. Is like he's so.
It's called the Kryptonite. Literally, Superman is weak.
Yeah. Yeah, the only reason that Batman won in that movie was because it was a movie, and that movie's fake. Okay,
no,
in real life, Superman would kick the crap out of Batman.
No, you read the if you clearly you haven't read the comics. Superman.
I have not read the comics. Yes, that's true.
For a man that has X-ray vision, like you'd think he'd be able to see freaking Kryptonite from like a mile away. Also, Dan says, shame to say that he hasn't played any Mortal Kombats, but he's tempted to dive in. Dan, my man, gent, if you get a chance to play Mortal Kombat 10, start with 10. Well, actually, no, you could technically go back to the 360 Mortal Kombat. That's when they really started getting clever. But definitely play 10 and then play 2 and then play through 11. If you like good stories, the new ones are very much dialed in. Very much. They're really good.
Yeah. It's probably a good idea, since we have the live chat going on, because we're doing this currently on Twitch. It'll be coming out on the podcast forum later on tonight or whatever. It's probably a good idea to bring up to Dan that Garrett and I have talked about doing Super Gamer Boys in the UK. So us just going over there. It's like going to be similar. Think a European vacation with Chevy Chase. So Zech, myself, and Garrett are going to do like a crazy hostel type thing. When we go to the UK and we hang out at your house, Dan. And also, by the way, we're going to want to eat cookies in your bed. So I don't know why that's a thing, but think European vacation. Hilarity is gonna go crazy. There's going to be all kinds of wacky, zany stuff. And you can show us all the sites over there. It's going to be crazy nuts. Just saying. So, and also, I hope you guys have cookies at the house.
That's also post. So just make sure. So don't worry about thinking out. Don't worry about planning anything soon. So.
No, and we can wear masks. I mean, I'm fine.
Are you gonna eat cookies with a mask?
I already.
Like a horse?
I can't. I can't. I just cut a little hole in the mask and I'll just shove them in like a mail slot. It's the mail. I'll just put them in like a mail slot.
Perfect. Well, that's about all the time we have for tonight. This was always a pleasure, my man. Thank you so much. It's also nice doing a little chat with Dan. Like, I'm really happy he was able to join.
Definitely.
It's like having Dan to bar the show. He's like he's here with us right now.
Definitely.
So thank you everybody for listening. Be sure to go back to our Patreon. Give us some support over there. It'd be great. We love doing giveaways, which we did one giveaway so far, but we really want to do more, preferably with bigger prize pools. So, the more people that sign up, more people that subscribe. Be sure to share the podcast with your friends. Tell them how awesome and cool we are, and be sure to rate us on your podcasting client of choice. That helps us grow in the algorithm so that we can actually get noticed by other people. And hopefully spread the word of how super gamerness can come to a super gamer home near them. And be sure to follow us on our various social channels. You can follow Garrett on Twitter at gmorlang. You can follow myself at Zech Keenan, also on Twitter. JJ, where can people find you around the internet?
You can always find me on the Twitter at JJ Purdom.
Check them out there. And also, obviously, be sure to follow Super Gamer Boys at Super Gamer Boys on Twitter and the Insta. And also, facebook.com/Super Gamer Boys. Yeah, that's right. You got it. So we have we have rights to all those URLs. No underscores, no periods, no dashes. Just straight Super Gamer Boys. Because that's
we own it.
We are.
Yeah.
So thank you also to Star Andrews for our logo. Check out her Instagram at ground floor at ground floor graphics /Facebook and Facebook at facebook.com/ground floor graphics.
Yeah, Garrett has been saying that same statement for 2 years, dude, and he still like fumbles over it each and every week, and I love it. It's my favorite thing to watch him go like that. Let his tongue get in the way. But this was a fun episode, man. Maybe by this time next week, we're gonna have little pictures of us holding the baby. I'm sure that they'll let us touch the baby and
I don't hold babies.
Be close. What?
I don't.
Really? Is it because of the COVID or?
Unless they're my own. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't feel comfortable holding up somebody else's kid. I'm like, yep, that's.
I go up to people in the store and I'm like, let me hold your baby. You know, like I love babies, man. And I had 2 people call the cops. They didn't understand, but whatever. So,
I love babies.
Kinda. Let's not talk about my legal troubles. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us this week. My name is JJ Purdom. That right there, that beautiful man. That's the host this week. That is Zech Keenan, and we will see you next time. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
See ya.